A low GI diet is one of the most popular diets for women with PCOS. So how do you get started? Well, today on Nourish, I'm going to interview PCOS dietitian Nicole Barber. Stay tuned. Nicole, welcome to Nourish.
Thank you.
So first of all, can you tell us about how you developed such a passion for working with women with PCOS?
Yeah, I've been working with women for a while now, and I've really loved being able to work with women with PCOS because a lot are in the dark, and being able to support and encourage to help them understand their health and their body better has been really rewarding, and then see changes, even fertility things happen, is just such a feel to work with. Really enjoying that.
Oh, that's great. So obviously the low GI diet is one of the most popular treatments for PCOS. Can you tell us what is the low GI diet?
The low GI diet really looks at our carbohydrates and trying to choose carbohydrates that have a more small gradual increase on the blood levels or our glucose levels in our body.
Okay, so how is a low GI diet beneficial for PCOS?
Studies have shown that with a low GI diet, they'll have more improved menstrual cycles, and improved menstrual cycles means we have better ovulation.
Right, so we're more likely to be able to conceive.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So it sounds like a good move. Then what happens when you eat foods that have a high glycemic index?
Yeah, so studies have really looked into this, and they've shown that foods that have a higher glycemic index or effect to the blood show higher levels of insulin, and insulin resistance really affects ovulation.
Right, okay. So we need to be really avoiding those foods that are high GI as much as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people suggest that women with PCOS should be avoiding carbohydrate foods altogether. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's been trending for a little while, and studies are really looking into it, and what the Wollongong University really just did quite a big clinical study where they looked at 377 participants and found that rather than cutting them, if we switch to more low GI, they actually had for the switch a 0.3 drop in BMI, better weight loss, better improved health, which is really positive to say that low GI improves our health on many different levels, including fertility.
Okay, fantastic. So how would a person know if a food is low GI or not?
Yeah, so in Australia we have something called a glycemic index foundation, which puts a logo on our food products now.
Right.
So that's something we can look for on cereals and breads and pasta and rice. But also the fibre contents are really handy tools. So if something's more fibrous, fibre acts as a protective layer to our body and will slow down the breakdown of the glucose in our body.
Oh, that's a fantastic tip. So could you give me an example of a low GI food compared to a high GI food that might have more fibre in it?
Yeah, so something like a seedy bread versus more of a white bread.
Okay, so if you just have a look at the amount of fibre, so say you're in the bread aisle and you have a look at the different amount of fibre in all of the different breads, that would give you a good indication as to which bread you should be choosing.
Yeah, if it's got more of a fibre content.
Yeah, that would be the one to go for. So just to finish up, what would be your top tips for going low GI?
I would include my carbohydrates, but look for foods that I love and try and find one that has more of a low GI, either the logo or something that's more fibrous. If it's got seeds in it, it's a great benefit to our bodies and will make it low GI naturally. If you can find a way to add in lentils and legumes, so into the dishes or on top of, say, your potato or something like that, that would make it more low GI. If you can add in other food groups when you're eating your carbohydrates, that would make it more low GI because it would take longer for the body to digest.
Yep, no, that's fantastic. So just to get down into the nitty-gritty of those in a little bit more detail. So first of all, you said go grainy. So and that's not just with bread. That's also with things like having different types of wild rices and crackers, choosing the grainy crackers and so forth as well. Yep. And then you also said adding legumes. So how does that help to lower the GI of a meal?
Yeah, so legumes are very fibrous, and so therefore they add a GI factor to the meal that makes it lower.
Okay, and so what type of meals would you add legumes to?
So things like your mince that you could add quite easily when you're doing your stir fries. If you're doing a soup, you could put it in. Your salads, they would mix really nice. Cannellinis make really lovely white sauces that you could put on top of things.
Yeah, actually that just reminded me of another tip that I give a lot of clients is if they're doing something like a pumpkin soup, adding some cannelloni beans or borlotti beans into that and pureeing it through, then that's going to, so you can, all sorts of different ways. And then your third one, you said, adding other non-carbohydrate foods. So you're talking about like if you add a salad or some vegetables to rice, is that?
Yeah, great. So that would make the meal take longer to digest by the body.
Right.
So you'll add, when you add veggies, they have their natural fibres, and that adds a lower GI content to the meal.
Fantastic. And so when would you recommend for somebody with PCOS, so they come in to see you, do you think it's something that you would wait until you're trying to conceive to start a low GI diet, or when would you recommend starting to follow a low GI diet?
Low GI diets are beneficial for us all, so we can all start implementing low GI diets.
Fantastic. All right. So thank you so much for coming on today, Nicole. It's so great to be able to, just chat with another of my beautiful colleagues, and especially somebody who specialises in PCOS. So it's been some great advice for everybody. And as always, if you are somebody who has any questions about following a low GI diet, or if you've got any tips on how to make your diet lower in GI, we'd love you to share. Just type in the comment section below. The other thing is, of course, as always, we have our fertility meal plan that you can download. So if you just go to melaniemcgrice.com/fertility to download your fertility meal plan, which is a low GI meal plan, so will be great for anybody who is trying to conceive. All right, thanks everybody. See you again soon.
Bye.
Thank you so much for all of your advice today, Nicole. It's been fantastic having you. And is there just one key message that you'd like to summarise what we've talked about today for our audience?
Yeah, I would definitely encourage us all not to cut our carbohydrates, but to include them into our meals. But if you can, make a switch for something that is more of a low GI substitute.
Fantastic. Thanks again for joining us.
Most welcome.